All right, guys, today we have a great team member that we're going to introduce you to. Our go-to, very important part of our process, home inspector Benjamin Hammond with Magnolia Home Inspections. Benjamin, thanks for being with us.
Yeah, great to be here. I'm excited. We've got great conversations that we have on site. So happy to record that and continue the conversation here.
Yeah, man. Well, one of yours and my passions for sure is new home inspections. And I know it's a passion of yours. It's one of the things that really brought us together. I know it's a specialty of your all's company. And a lot of people don't think they should get a home inspection with a new home.
Yes, true. It's surprising to me. I do a lot of inspections today. There are people that have lived in a house for a few years and decide to sell the house. We come out, and in the process of my walkthrough with clients, I very often tell them, hey, it's obvious they did not have a home inspection when they purchased the house. And it's just a lot of little nitpicky things. So cost of the home inspection kind of averages out when you have to have someone come out, painter, just even the cosmetic issues to repair, it ends up being the same amount price of the home inspection. So at worst, you come out even. So in that situation, we identify, and then some cases it's a pretty major deal. And one thing that I try to educate my realtors to let them know, especially here in Nashville, builders are so busy. Even the best builders in town are extremely busy. They've got multiple superintendents that are spread across multiple projects. And when that happens, there's a lot of details, that are missed. And so even if it's a good builder, there are some things that are just not, the superintendent is not going into the crawl space. He's not going into the attic space. He's not going in behind the subs because he trusts his subs, they're great, but of course they're busy too. And there's just a lot of details that are just looked over that if you just ask the builder, hey, if you will complete this, that they will, and then they do it for free. As long as you do it when they're asking for that punch list.
That's right. Well, I know it's funny when I talk with clients about new construction, they're like, oh, I don't need an inspection, like they're building. So, I'm sure there's codes and processes and things, that protect me. Right. And I immediately go to wrong. I mean, and so I've got our go-to things that we kind of point out to our clients. What are the things that you see, that are pretty common that not intentionally, they're not cutting corners, but that you've seen in your experience that kind of come up?
Well, to be honest, this is a conversation actually about the industry of construction and how the industry itself is changing.
Right.
10 years ago, home inspections were not that common. Today, they are becoming very common. And I'll be honest with you, most new construction builders expect you to hire a home inspector. And they do. And it's actually become a part of their process, is the fact that even if they're good builders, they are not going in and creating a punch list. They're purposefully not going in behind their subs because they just assume that you're going to hire a home inspector who's going to point out all the issues, create that final punch list for them, and then, complete that punch list. So it's built into their process now that they expect a home inspector to come out and create that punch list. And that when that's not done, those issues just are not identified and not taken care of.
Which is so interesting because the consumer is going just the opposite way, right? They're going, I'm in the process. I like my builder. I trust them. I'm in business with them. Let's go. When in reality, the builder has been conditioned from the previous decade or more of home inspectors going, or homeowners going, I don't know what they're doing or building, but I'm going to hire my own people. And it's funny. It's just going like this, right?
Yes.
The story we always like to tell, and I know you've been there when I've told it, and people don't think about this in the process of building, is you do have a framing inspection, right? And when they frame the house and the structural piece of it, right, and they put it in there, but then the plumbing happens after that. And you've already passed your framing inspection. And you and I talk about this, and it comes up a lot. And the plumber comes through and has to set a toilet right here where the designer fixed it, but they got to run a plumbing line through a joist. Well, they go to the truck, get the saw, cut that joist out or part of that joist out and run that thing through the pipe through it. And that doesn't get caught in the process, and
That
I
is the
tell
process.
that is the process, right? And so I tell clients, I'm like, listen, you can pay for this now, just like you said, invest in this opportunity now. The builder will fix it now, or it'll be discovered later when you go to market, because some new construction standards don't match resale standards, and that's a great catch that we run into. I mean, I know you and I've seen it 2 or 3 times recently. So
Yeah, and the worst part about that is that at that point you have to get a structural engineer
oh
involved,
yeah, oh
because
yeah,
you can't just hire someone to come out and repair, especially if it's a truss member that's been cut through. But if it's structural framing, yes, it's been repaired, but has that been done to a specific standard? And it requires even additional money. And I love that, these are the kind of conversations we have on site, before clients show up. And it's why I love doing business with you, is that you understand the process.
right,
And that it's an important part, and to hire guys that understand the process, because clients don't know. And it's important to kind of walk them through, this is what's happening on site. And this is why, that they don't have to freak out. There's a structural repair that needs to be done. It's like, listen, it's a plumber who showed up, and there's a joist that's in the wrong location, or it's just a little too close to where his toilet needs to go, and he's going to cut it out. It's part of the process, and there is a repair for that. And there's, the best time to do that repair is when the contractor is responsible for it and is overseeing that whole process.
that's right.
And it can be a seamless process. And that, I think that's what we bring to the table, and why it's important to understand, why it's important to hire a real estate agent to be a part of the process, but also a home inspector, is that we're not only going to point out the issues that need to be resolved, but there's also a process that comes with that. And that's what we bring to the table.